All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need a.
Hello, my darling friends.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Hello.
Doing good on this fine Sunday evening.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
All
How
right.
are you?
Hanging in, all things considered. That's my new answer to everything now. All things considered. So that's a great way to start us off, isn't it? This is three cocktails
right
in. We are 3 cocktails in. We got Stacy, Kitty, and Amy. We are 3 friends who have been hanging out together for a million years. And, we're hanging tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very deep and important topic to discuss tonight, and I hope everybody is ready. Mother knows best. This is going to be our episode dedicated to our moms, to the moms out there, to the mom-like people we have in our lives, to our children who suffered through with us as their mothers. Kind of excited to talk about all things. Yeah,
it'll be good. We have a piece of jewelry that is just a nice size medallion. And the inscription on it says, "Mom, a title just above Queen."
Oh, love that.
I do.
Love that. Yeah.
Isn't that true?
So, Mother's Day, this is dropping right before Mother's Day. Stacy, the scheduler,
right.
Is that right? Okay.
That is correct.
So we're ahead of the game for once.
For once. One time only.
Yes. So I had a lot of fun thinking about this. And it kind of went all the way back to the moms I watched on TV growing up.
Okay.
Because, there was no streaming. It was our mom, the neighbor moms.
Yep.
I think Stacy and I have already kind of said we grew up in the same small town, and the moms were, yes, they were all unique individuals, but there was a pretty similar pattern. And we listened to all of them like they were our moms. So TV was just this whole new world.
Yeah.
You guys have moms you remember watching?
You know what? For me, like one of the first moms that comes to my mind is Carol Brady.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Carol Brady.
I always thought her hair was so cute. It was also, done
How did
pretty.
she do that?
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
come that one hasn't made its way back?
I don't know.
Not seeing that trend coming back.
No, that's true.
No. I loved watching Brady Bunch, as probably all of us did. I could never really figure out what was she doing that she also had Alice?
Yes. I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, though. Wait, who had Alice first? Didn't he have Alice?
Did Maybe Mr. had Alice.
I think Mr. had Alice.
Maybe.
So they kept her on.
They just kept her because they didn't want to, give her.
Because she was part of the family.
Okay.
I think
Now,
so.
I don't know.
that might have set the wrong tone for me and my expectations as what motherhood was supposed to be like. That I was somehow going to have help in the house.
Yeah. Right.
That didn't work. Yeah.
No help.
The mom that comes to mind for me is Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days.
Oh.
Yes.
She was such a lovely woman.
Wow. I don't think I would have remembered her. Okay.
Oh, that's way back.
The show was set way back, but it wasn't really, it was of our era that show came on.
Yeah.
I don't know. You suppose that was the 70s, I suppose?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. 70s. Interesting. And then, so, I mean, this would be a long list of moms from
Oh, yeah.
that era, and then even before that, with the Beaver's mom,
Yes.
June,
Leave it to
June
Beaver.
Cleaver.
June
Cleaver.
Cleaver. Ward and June Cleaver.
Yeah. So you've got June Cleaver, and then fast forward, I don't know how many years, you've got Claire Huxtable.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's on my list too.
Yeah, she would have been on mine if you guys both said something. She was going to be what I brought up, and I just remember being so impressed because she might have, I have no idea on the stats, but she may have been the first TV mom, to have a big job,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
had how many kids, and I can't
Yeah.
remember what, was she a doctor as well or a lawyer? I can't remember which.
I think she was a lawyer.
She a
She
lawyer?
was a lawyer. He was the doctor.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I
Yeah.
loved watching that. But
Yeah.
how old were we when that came out?
I'm thinking we were adults by then. Wasn't that the
Yeah,
90s?
I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to
90s.
say.
Yeah.
Because I just still remember all through watching, youth growing up,
Mhm.
there wasn't a mom figure that really had the job that I would have seen as an alternative to being mom,
Right.
you know?
No.
The other mom that I thought of, and it's actually the grandmother, but I loved watching Bewitched. And her mother, Sam's mother, and Dora.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I loved her. She was a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was spicy.
She was
Yeah.
very spicy
Hmm.
with Darwin, and yeah, always pronounced his name wrong. I love that. Okay, so let's slide forward just a little bit. We kind of got into, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. There's been a whole bunch of different moms that have been on TV and movies. Did you guys like the Everybody Loves Raymond? Patricia Heaton had a series of moms.
Yeah,
Yep.
she did. Yeah.
Yep. I always felt bad for her in that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Her
Can you, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, can
Yeah.
you imagine living across the street from your in-laws? I mean,
No.
no. That
Nope.
wouldn't have been good. Yeah.
I really like her, but she was in another sitcom where she played a different kind of mom, and that was in the TV series The Middle. Did you
Middle.
guys ever watch that?
Never
A little
watched
bit
it.
of it. A little
Oh
bit.
my, I came to it really late, like probably 15 years ago, 10 years ago, started watching them on reruns or whatever. And my sister and I have never laughed so hard about how horribly wrong everything went in their house. Everything. And it was just so funny. The kids were just dinglings, and, nobody had their shit together in that house. But I kind of enjoyed it because that seemed more typical to me
Yeah.
than the perfect.
So she wasn't the perfect mom. Things
Oh,
happened
no.
that they had
Yeah.
no idea how to.
Yep. Can we talk about my favorite mom of all time?
Who's that?
Moira Rose.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What would you do with her as a mom?
I know, right? Yeah, she
I
was.
A lot.
So if you don't know who we're talking about, this is the mom from Schitt's Creek, and I think we all loved Schitt's Creek, right? Stacey, did you love it?
Yes.
Yeah. That is worth a subscription to wherever it may be playing. I think when I watched it, it was on Apple
Yep.
TV, and I didn't have Apple TV, and I specifically got Apple TV so I could watch it.
Yeah.
But I love the development of her character from the beginning to the end. At the beginning, I didn't really like her very much, and at the end, I mean, it's a testament to how they grew together as a family. But just had a lot of affection for her at at the end.
Yeah. I kind of felt that about the whole
Yeah.
cast. Like it took me probably 4 episodes before I decided I liked it. Like I remember watching the first one and I cannot stand the guy that played
Yes,
Roland
I don't like
Shitz.
him either. Yeah.
What is his name? He was married to Drew Barrymore for like a hot
Oh,
second.
really? I didn't know that. I don't know.
Wasn't
I
it?
No.
just remember he was.
Do I have him mixed
Yeah.
up with somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
He was the guy that used to come up out of the floor on the David Letterman show. Did you ever watch that? Like
Yeah.
he was some.
Oh, I don't remember that part either.
Oh yeah, he's just a weirdo. So yeah, I wasn't too impressed. With
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott. I do think if we Google search, I do think he was married too. I could be totally wrong. Okay, this is so perfect for this episode. This is exactly how my mother was. I'm just going to tell you that right now. She never got an actor or an actress's name right, ever. She never knew the name to the show. She mixed everything up. She would be talking about that one movie with that actress. That's how she would describe something. That movie, well, you know that movie.
Yeah.
That movie with that actress. And we're like, you got to give us more, Mom. And she said, oh, you know, where the woman dies.
Oh, that
Okay,
one.
give us some
Yeah,
more.
that
Yeah, and she goes, you know, with Barbara Wenger.
Oh,
She meant Deborah Winger. But that's how it came out. So
okay. It was Tim
Yeah.
Green is who Tom Green. Sorry.
Oh
Tom
yeah,
Green.
Tom Green.
Is
Tom
who she was married to,
Green.
and physically they look very much alike.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they're both
right.
kind of weird and quirky like that.
Yep.
But
Yes. All right, good. So I haven't lost
No.
it too much. Yeah. So okay, so that's a good segue. Are there any moms that you watched that you found to be like when you became a mom, did you feel like being a mom was like what you had watched on TV?
Mm.
Were there any moms that
Ah.
Yeah, no, that's hard because again, there's very few that they show very flawed. You know, they were all just the perfect mom all the way through. Usually it was the kids that were having the issues, not the moms.
Yeah. There was a TV show on called 30 something, not 30 something.
Yeah.
That
30
was a show.
something.
30
30
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
30 something. And that was when we were in our early 20s.
Yes, we weren't 30. Yeah.
No. I remember watching that and those moms highly flawed.
Yeah.
Those families highly, you know, those couples, everything was all mixed up. And then my ex-husband would come home and I'd be upset about something and he's like, "Were you watching that show again?"
Well, just look.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
They were having such issues and so many problems, and it looked so hard. And you know, it was like, oh man, is that really what 30 is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel like those kids, like that part of motherhood was representative.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would say.
When we got there, trying to juggle work and kids and messy house and all that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you found yourself saying that your mom said? Because I do think it's true. We become our mothers.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Yeah, that's one I Googled just to remember some of the crazy things, you know, like the money doesn't grow on trees. And what do you think I made of money? Oh, I've said that to my kids over time, for sure.
I'm not the ATM.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't remember my mom saying. I don't remember my mom disciplining me at all. I'm not saying she didn't, but I don't have any memory of it. And I remember one time, so I would have been under 9 because I remember the house that we lived in. And we moved from that house when I was 9. So I would have been anywhere. And I'm guessing that I was more in the 5, 6 year. I stuck my tongue out at my mom. as she was walking away, stuck my tongue at her, and she came back at me, and I got a spanking. That is the only time I ever remember doing something that made her mad and being reprimanded for it. But I don't have any memory of her saying these things. Now, I think I remember my dad saying, am I gonna have to come back, reaching around the back
Yeah.
seat?
Don't make me stop this
Stop the
car.
car. Yeah, things like that. But I find great humor in all of these because I said so, and
Because I
you know,
said so. Oh yeah.
we'll see actually means no.
Mhm.
Yeah, that holds true
Oh, yeah.
still. Still
I
to this
I
day.
use that.
It just means I can't think about it. I
Yeah.
cannot give this any energy. That's a
Yeah.
placeholder that I hope you
Right.
forget about somewhere
Yeah.
along the line.
Yeah.
Mm.
I do remember the old stop crying or I'll give you
To cry
something to
about.
cry
Oh, yeah.
about. That was always an empty threat
Yeah.
with my mom. But I do remember that
Yeah.
phrase. Yeah.
Yep.
We never heard back in my day. We didn't get that too much.
Yeah, we didn't either.
Did you ever hear if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The things that I remember my mom saying was, anytime we were sick, didn't feel good. First of all, we never went to the doctor. You had to pretty much have, a limb hanging if you were going to go to the doctor. Otherwise, you're fine. That was the common phrase. You're fine. Then it was, do you need to go to the bathroom? Didn't matter what it was. Do you need to go to the bathroom and take some aspirin?
Oh,
That was her 3 remedies or her 2 remedies for
everything,
everything. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that would have probably been mine as well. Honestly. Yeah, I never took the kids to the doctor. Yeah, you'll get over it. Here's some Tylenol.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I did have the checklist of, when was the last time you had a glass of water? Because at that point, we never gave our kids
No.
water. Nobody ever walked around
No.
drinking water. Have you eaten anything other than snacks? Go have an apple? Have you, have a piece of toast, sort of thing. Anything so I wouldn't have to take them to the
Yeah.
doctor.
I know. Now it seems like everybody goes for everything. Don't you think that's true? Like if they're the least bit sick, they go.
oh. Yeah,
don't
I kind of think so. I think I agree with that. I think there are a lot of people who, yeah, it's probably one of the reasons why it's so hard to get into the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
And do we think that's because there's too many people who are at home self-diagnosing?
Mm.
Like when we had the kids, I didn't have any resource. I couldn't look up anything to see how bad it could
Right.
be. So I just
It was
assumed it was fine.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm.
That could be. That
Um,
could be the reason.
So did you guys come up with any funny things that you remember saying to your own kids?
I know that Bill and I have both used as long as you're living under our roof,
Oh,
you
yes.
will abide by our rules.
Yeah.
And does that work?
Well, generally speaking, I would say yes. Yes. But
Mhm.
he's still living here, so we haven't driven him out because of our rules.
Your rule.
You guys are going to have to start do the failure to launch, where now that Bill is going to retire, he needs to have a naked room. Do you remember that? Where Terry
Yes.
Bradshaw has the naked room?
Yes. Like, do we really want to see Terry Bradshaw's? What? No. God, that's right. That is a funny movie. I got to put that in the queue.
Yeah. Hey, Bo, we're gonna have movie night.
Yeah.
Put that one in. There were a couple of things that both Kevin and I started saying, and it came out of this us trying not to laugh when the kids were very upset about something, and it's taken off. And my girls do say it to their friends, and Madeline for sure has said it to Alex, and that is the phrase, "It's hard to be you."
Oh.
So like when they were really little, and I remember Ava getting kicked out of dance class at 4. At the age of 4, she caused a mutiny in the dance class. The teacher had no control, and she ushered Ava out of class to me.
Oh.
And I said, "Ava, what's going on?" And she goes, "It is hard to be a 4-year-older. Hard to be a 4-year-old." And I said, yes, evidently it is. Let's go home, sort of thing. So from that, this whole idea of anytime they started to complain was, it is really hard to be you. It is so hard to be you. And then it turned into, it is hard to be 8, or it is hard to be 10. And we just still continue to do it. And a couple years ago, one of the first years that Alex, I think after they were married and they came back for vacation or, holiday or something was going on, and it was probably Madeline and Georgia going back and forth at each other. And Georgia looks at Madeline and goes, "It's so hard to be you." And Alex turned his head and looked at Madeline and goes, "I just now realized that's not an empathetic comment that you're making there. That is used totally as sarcasm."
Yes, it is. No sympathy for.
There is no sympathy. So she'd been telling him that it is hard to be you. He thought that
Not
it was one of
meaning.
those-
Yeah.
So I think we've got something to pass on through the ages. The whole idea that it is hard to be you.
See, that wouldn't, like with Bo, that would not fly if I said something like that to him, because he would feel attacked by that.
It's hard to be you?
Well, because you're saying it sarcastically.
But when they started hearing it as a small young child, we weren't saying it sarcastically. We were trying to diffuse the situation and acknowledge that what they were going through was hard. No, we were not saying they were right or they had any, we were just trying to say, I hear you. It is hard to be you. I'm not, but as they got older and started to understand the sarcasm behind it, as they're 14 and they're complaining about not getting to go do something, when you go, it is really hard to be you. Then they start to get it. And, it just became one of those. So, yeah. So how to pivot.
Yeah.
The other thing I would tell the girls was, Mommy's ears need a time out, so you have to stop talking. It worked a little bit every once in a while.
For a while, it would work.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Things we made up.
Right. I know. Yeah. I was one that, and this wasn't what my mom said. I'm sure it was you dad. And I know your dad told you the same thing, walk it off, rub some dirt on it. So, you were never injured. Get up, get going.
No.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
You're fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would tell my kids that one all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine. Get going. Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Mallory claims she had a broken foot for a while because I wouldn't give her any, sympathy.
Oh, I had a broken hand for a week because my dad kept telling me to put ice on it. Yeah. Stop being such a girl. I was 18.
Oh, you even got the stop being a girl.
Yeah, stop being such a girl. And then he said that just to piss me off. Let's be real honest.
Right.
He knew that was going to irritate me. So a week later, my hand was still huge. And Mom took me in for x-rays. And yep, it was broken. And I came home with a cast.
Right. Did you have a cast like this?
Actually, the cast, I got to move like this knuckle. and just the little bit of my thumb, and everything else was casted together. So I'm like, look, Dad.
How did you break your hand?
Playing softball, summer softball. We were shagging balls, pop flies, and I was running in, and this dingling girl who was just a joker on her team was backpedaling, and I had my glove out to catch it, and she whipped her glove back
No, and hit you.
and just jammed my finger in. And that was part of it when they fixed it. They actually had to pull the finger out and hold it and reset it, sort of thing. So,
Oof.
yeah. So talk about your fine.
I know.
Rub some dirt on it, put some ice on it, take 2 aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
At least she didn't tell me to go to the bathroom with that one at 18. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
It was
man.
always a suck it up, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. What else?
Well, there's always the thing. What do you remember? What do you most? What was your favorite? Both your moms listen, so this is your chance.
I'll go.
Go.
I remember parties. I remember my parents having people over, like having dinner, people coming over for dinner, or like when my dad was directing plays, we would have cast parties after the last performance, and all the students would come over, and my mom was so good at cooking, for one thing, and just making amazing food and just organizing and throwing these parties. And it was the same thing when it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or Mother's Day, when all the relatives would come over. We have a very small family, but early on, because my mom and dad lived in the same small town, so their parents knew each other. So all of our holidays, it was both sides of the family together.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's just the way families were until, I left home and met other people, and they're what, both sets of your grandparents don't get together with you for Christmas? Like, no, that's not normal. Okay, but creating a beautiful dining room table, and she would just pull things that she had in her house. It wasn't like, okay, I'm going to go to Target or wherever and I'm going to buy a new runner and candles and whatever. She would take odds and ends from around and create beautiful tables. So the cooking and entertaining and just, making that beautiful tablescape all the time. I remember that from a very early age. And then one other thing, I remember when my mom and dad would go out, when we would get a babysitter, and which my sister and I loved having the babysitter because we got to eat TV dinners. And the kind.
Did you walk? Yeah. Did you have your TV dinner and watch Lawrence Welk? Because that's what we did.
Yeah, probably. And I remember them being dressed up to go out, and they would come and say goodbye. And I remember my mom's fur coat. I remember the smell of her perfume.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Like it was yesterday. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. My mom also very good at entertaining and putting on a big spread. As you were talking about that, I remembered that my parents, I think, went out every weekend. We had babysitters all the time, and then they have bridge night, which is during the week, and we'd have a babysitter. So, I mean, that's something I remember, that they went out a lot, which is interesting. But my mom specifically, I would say, I learned a lot from her, like how to sew, how to cook, a lot of domestic type stuff. But the funny thing is, I hated every minute of it. I fought her that I didn't care about, learning how to sew and learning how to do all these arts and crafts and all this kind of stuff, which now I like it, but I just hated it. Hated sitting down and having to learn anything. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably typical.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
My mom was then the opposite of that. She didn't want, I did not know how to cook a single thing other than beanie weenies, which Stacy and I talked about, Campbell's,
Yeah.
pork and beans with chopped up hot dog in it. I knew how to follow a recipe to bake cookies. But my mom never wanted us in the kitchen, ever. We got in her way. We made a mess. It was just easier for her to do it. I didn't know how to wash clothes. My freshman year of college, I was looking at labels and it said cold and I put it in together. I ruined like 3 sweaters and a shirt because they were white and pink and I put them in with my jeans because they all said cold. Didn't know you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So where my mom knew how to do all that, I didn't learn it. I did know how to sew because she thought that was something I needed to know how to do. I'm sure it had to do with 4-H. It was
Yeah.
a project or something that, we had to do. And she picked out the pattern and she picked out the easiest. And I'm pretty sure she probably did half of it. She didn't care about that sort of stuff. And I think for many, many, many years, I'm the oldest. My brother, I was 6 when he was born. So probably through about the first 12 years of my life, I was my dad's boy. We did sports together all the time because Cole wasn't old enough. And so I did a lot more outdoor stuff than I ever did the indoor stuff. But when I started having, once I had kids, I called my mom every single day. And she just had such a calm nature to her. And my mom hardly ever drank. Her idea of a drink was a fuzzy navel or a pink squirrel. And if you don't know what those are, you should Google those. They're very frou-frou drinks. But I remember being so upset. And, with Madeline, I had a lot of postpartum depression, which I didn't know what that was at the time. But I remember her saying, Amy, do you have a beer in the house? I'm like,
Yes. She would tell you to go drink a beer? Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Because now when they were having kids, they were told to have a beer because it helped with like milk production or something. They thought that was a thing. So she's like, there's not enough alcohol in there. That's going to hurt you. It'll calm you down. It'll calm her down. Okay, Mom. So I came to have a greater appreciation, probably as we all do, for our moms as we get older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Definitely. I mean, as we became adults, you realize that they were doing it for the first time raising us, just like we're doing it for the first time raising ours. And nobody tells you how to do this. So you're just figuring it out for yourself. And it's true. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And then it becomes a lot of fun then when you get to be the adult age. And you get to enjoy your parents, moms in particular, in a different relationship. I just watch all the vacations. Stacy, you go on with your mom and she's in the sporting gear wearing whatever baseball hat and jersey are, whatever field you're at, you're hiking with her. She's just in for all of it. And Kitty, you and your mom and your sister are doing so many, get together and get to see things, and stopped in and saw me at work one day. It's just fun to get to this point where we can enjoy our moms as women as opposed to, mom.
Yes.
So do you guys have do you have plans with your moms?
Well, my mom was just here 2 weekends ago. I guess we haven't really even talked about Mother's Day. So don't know yet if I'm going to make a trip there, but my sister is there where my mom lives. So we will have something special for her, but I need to get home again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacey, does your gang get together?
Yeah, everybody will be back, even though they just came for Easter. Trenton and Lisa did not make it, so they're coming for Mother's Day. So
nice.
we'll all kind of get together. I don't know what the plan is yet, but
You've got lots of generations of moms in your house now.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will be working again on Mother's Day. So if anybody would like to buy their mother a home in Chaska, please come see me. I'll make that happen for you on Mother's Day.
Heck of an idea.
Yeah. So, I hope everybody gets to at least have a good phone call. Good phone call with their mom. And if your mom, like me, if your mom isn't here, call your kids, call your siblings, call that mom figure in your life.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's good to you. So, anybody got a shot?
I finally remembered to bring mine into the room that I was going to share a couple of weeks ago.
Excellent.
Good.
Kitty, hit us
And
with
we
a
have-
shot.
All right. Okay. So mine is artificial flowers for outside. Okay. So I've been seeing this all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over Facebook. And I've got a couple of spots in the front and in the back that I just cannot keep real flowers alive. They get pummeled by the rain that's coming off the roof or whatever. And so I thought I'm gonna give that a try. I want to see, touch and feel them. Okay, so this is a sampling of them.
Oh my!
Oh, wow. Yes,
They
very
went
pretty.
all out.
This is just a box that I have these in. So I haven't planted yet. Planted. But so it's just like artificial flowers that you get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, whatever. But they're UV protected, so they're not going to fade. They can get wet, depending because of how they're made. They can get wet, and they look real. So I've got 2 pots on my front steps that I've already done. So when I took all the Christmas stuff out, I left all the dirt in the pot. And these are stuck in the dirt just because I'm like, well, I'm not going to dump the dirt because you'd have to put something in anyway to. So what I'm seeing a lot of people do is just get that floral clay and then stick that in there. But it also needs to be kind of heavy so that the pot doesn't blow away because we get gale force winds. And so these are all the different ones now that I'm going to work on if it stops raining. And this will probably be, I could probably get at least 2 or 3 pots out of this.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. They're really inexpensive.
How much were they? That whole box?
Well, this is probably like 3 orders right here. Like these, I ordered all of these grasses. All of these grasses were 1 order. And I mean, I want to say like each order was like $25. And, so you get a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm very, very happy with it.
Yep. I've seen
That
it.
used to be my favorite Mother's Day activity. All the kids stay home and I get to go buy hundreds of dollars worth of flowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spend the whole afternoon at the greenhouse. Oh,
I'm always excited about it at the beginning of the season. And for us, it was Mother's Day too. And I do really well watering things for like the first month. And then it'd start to taper off. And by the end of summer, they just look like crap. So that's another reason why I want to try this year. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Good suggestion. Excellent.
Wonderful.
How about you, Stacey?
I got called out by from one of our podcasts a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
What does that mean?
That means my nephew, Brody, I'm going to call him out on the podcast. He listened to our episode about the generations. You know, we talked about Gen X, Boomer,
Yep.
Gen X, whatever. And I made the comment that millennials or Gen Y, they were named Gen Y
Yep.
because they asked a lot of questions. And he called me out on that. Says, no, it wasn't. It's because XYZ. And I said, yes, that too. But they literally said, you know, at the time, because that generation's very inquisitive. And then I kind of second guessed myself and said, did I just make that up? So I, you know, put it in AI and I was right. It was because they also asked a lot of questions. So
oh,
kind of the
okay.
same thing. And then again, then they changed it to millennial anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so there you go.
Okay. I have one too, but first you have to look at my eyebrows. Okay. Do we think my eyebrows look? I mean, I had one of my kids during FaceTime say to me, "Did you get your eyebrows done?" I'm like, "No."
Oh.
So I think that's a good sign. But
Yeah.
here's the product that I've got. This is a little itty bitty elf.
Oh.
It's like a felt tip. Can you guys see that little
Oh,
itty
yeah.
bitty thing? So
Yep.
this was
It kind of looks like an eyeliner,
yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing too. Okay.
It is the Holy Strokes Microfine Brow Pen.
Okay.
And for $12, a great eyebrow thing. So it does have a little ink to it. It does dry darker. So there's a little bit of a learning curve. But you can actually make little, you know, make it look like hairs instead of just,
Nice.
sometimes you get those, it looks more like a pencil, like a crayon pencil. And then
Underneath
you just,
yeah.
then it's just a color smudge.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done the things that look like a mascara wand, and that's great, but it only lifts what you already have. So if you have thin brows, this is how you can fill in.
Nice.
My
Good tip.
color is neutral brown. Neutral brown.
Okay.
Got it at Target.
Okay.
You can get it anywhere. So it's the e.l.f. brand, an inexpensive brand. Well worth it. So if you ever need a pick-me-up, there you go. $12. Make
Yeah.
yourself happy.
Good. Those were good. Those were good ones.
Buy it for your mother, because probably your mom's eyebrows are going too, like the rest of us.
What do you guys think about microblading?
My sister had it done. Oops. Hope she doesn't mind that I just said that. She doesn't listen, so I think I'm okay.
Is that one of those things I assume you have to get done often?
I
Maybe you
think
have to redo it.
she had it done a number of years ago, and I think she's had it touched up once.
Oh.
Why did she have it done?
She
Did she
had
not
such thin, barely there eyebrows, and they were really super light.
Okay.
And they look really nice. Now, I did read something somewhere, you know, and I'm sure it was somebody who was trying to promote a different product or different way of doing it. They did caution with microblading. Basically, what it is it's a tattoo
Yep.
that your face changes and your shape of your eye changes. So that's going to change too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she liked it.
I have pretty bushy eyebrows. I'm not considering it. I just always, whenever I see people doing it, I'm always like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So just curious.
Good.
Because some people's eyebrows can
Yep,
look
that's
way overdone.
Yeah, they can. Too dark.
Eyebrows have gotten big. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So on that note, let's go big. Have a big week, my friends.
Have a big week. Make it
Have a
count.
big week. Make it count. Say Happy Mother's Day to someone in your life. And if you have the ability to watch kids so younger moms can go spend an afternoon by themselves, it's okay. You can have Mother's Day without your kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a celebration of you.
Yeah. In fact, my kids would say, that's what I used to tell them, is that they'd say, well, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I would say, you all to just go somewhere or let me be alone.
Yes, I would like you to play with your father today.
Yeah, right? It's really Father's Day. Go play with him.
Yeah. All right, lovelies. Good
Okay.
to talk to you.
And you have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. Knock, knock. I'm about to start a celebration. Let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10.